Hi guys, Dr. Christy Ennis. If you are struggling with everyday activities like getting out of a chair or putting something away on the shelf, these exercises have got your name on them. We're going to really work on all the things that we need to do during the day and all the muscles that we need to use to get stronger. This first exercise is really going to help you if you have difficulty getting up and down out of a chair. And it literally is going to be that motion. As simple as it sounds, but I'll explain and go into it a little bit more. So you get to the edge of the seat or the chair. You're going to lean or shift your weight really forward and then use those nice big leg muscles to help you stand all the way up. Now, let's say you're like me and this is a nice easy surface. I have no problem doing this one. But you might have a chair at home or a toilet at home that's really hard for you because it's lower. So to make this a little bit harder, or actually more practical as you go, you want to build up your strength, right? So if you do 10 of these and you're tired, don't move to that harder level yet. But start by going to a little bit of a lower surface. Maybe not quite as low as your toilet, but a little bit lower, and then building up to 10 to 12 repetitions here. Now, if you start this, regardless of what chair, and it's really difficult for you to do without using your hands, it's okay to start there. Another little easier progression is putting your hands right on your legs, right? And you can press up a little bit. You can look back too if you need to make sure you don't fall over. And then if that's still not quite enough, if you have arms on the chair, you can press right down on those arms, or even if you need to, have like a dowel in front of you to help you stand right back up. This next one is great if you have difficulty reaching things out of shelves. It requires balance and strength. I've got some dumbbells with me. I would definitely start light if this is new to you, but I'm going to go over both pieces of the exercise and then we'll combine them. Step one is a little bit of a shoulder press, right? In order to get overhead, you obviously have to be able to lift overhead. With this part of it, make sure that you are not hiking your shoulders to get those weights overhead. If you are, you need to go lighter weights. Sometimes you even just need to let go of those weights and work on that range of motion first, and that's totally okay. We want to have good posture and not hurt everything or anything else. Second piece of that would be coming up onto the toes, especially if your shelves are a little bit taller than what you can actually reach for, right? And we really need to make sure that you've got that calf strength and that balance as you come up on those toes. To combine them, you are literally just taking those two things, and this is tricky. So you're going to come up with that press and right up onto those toes. Now for all these exercises, shoot for about 10 repetitions. This one is kind of an every other day one. That first one you can actually do several times a day. And then you can even add, as long as it doesn't hurt you, a little bit of that forward movement, right? Especially if that shelf is right in front of you there. This next one is if you need to get something lower on the shelf, right? We have both of those things. So there's a couple options for this. I am doing it with a weight. I'll show you without too. But we're going to step back. This front leg bends, and I'm going to reach it forward. This is my opposite side. It just gives you a little bit more stability if you've got the weight in one hand and the standing leg in the other, right? So this is great if it's shoulder height. As long as your knees and everything else feels okay, you can go ahead and even add that lunge. Now, if you're finding that the weight is too much to start with, it's okay, get rid of it, right? Add that reach, especially because we need to get some of that mobility going at the same time. And then of course, switch sides. This next one is called a suitcase carry. So you can already see probably how this one's gonna work. You're gonna take a weight in one hand. Generally, this is a weight that's heavier. So this is all I have right now, so this is what I'm using. But when something is heavy, it wants to pull you over this way. So we actually wanna work on that not happening by using all of these stability muscles on this opposite side. So you wanna start with a weight that's heavy enough that it feels like it's gonna pull you over, but it won't. And then you're just gonna start walking. And again, making sure that as you're walking, you're not leaning this way. We wanna try to avoid that lean, especially with weight, especially heavy weight, because that actually closes down some of those joint spaces in the back and causes a force that we definitely don't want going on in there. So make sure that you do this with both sides. Depending on how long you've got of a runway here, you can set a timer and do it for even just a couple minutes. This last one is great if you have difficulty getting up and down stairs. And we're actually going to start with a stair. If you don't have my 1980s Reebok stack, you could start with a phone book. Yes, another older reference, some sort of textbook or anything similar to that. The higher the height, the more difficult it will be. So again, you want to choose something a little lower than what you are having difficulty with. And we're going to break this down into 2 parts here. So to do the step up, we really want to engage all the muscles that need to be engaged so that we can, right, do harder and bigger steps. So you want to think as you come up, do as much as you can to let this leg that's on the stair do all that work pushing you up. And then when you get all the way up to the top, really squeeze that quad muscle to straighten that leg. And then again, nice and controlled, gonna touch that toe back down. We're not, right, letting our weight just slump back down, so that we're really working on engaging all these muscles. That's a little bit too much. Go ahead and grab something nice and sturdy in the opposite hand to just help guide you a little, but still that nice, steady, sturdy motion as you do this one. Same idea if you're having difficulty going down the stairs, right? We're going to practice that just on a lower surface than what you've got. So same concept, one foot stays on that stair. We're going to work on shifting that weight forward. Yes, the knee could go over the toe. Tap that toe and come all the way back up. This one is harder if you let that weight come all the way down and back up again. I'm trying to keep my heel flat for right now as I do this. Obviously, when you walk downstairs, you will come up onto that toe, so you can kind of progress to that a little bit too. But again, we really want to work on getting that mobility and those muscles working, so we're keeping that heel down to start.